A Super Smash Bros. Player has come to Tekken and destroyed the online ranked ladder within 4 days. The Super Smash Bros. Series is often laughed off as a party game and generally kept separate from the FGC, while Smash players may be having the last laugh with Koni's latest performance. If you don't know Koni, he is a newcomer to the Tekken series. He's a commentator and competitor from the Smash series, and he hit the purple ranks in 4 days. Now, the purpose of my video is not to demotivate you, but to educate you, encourage you, and maybe help you succeed. So he's been streaming Tekken 8 to prepare for Sajam's Tekken Slam. It's a collaborative tournament with a bunch of different streamers. You might have seen it mentioned now and then. At the time of recording, the tournament is happening tomorrow. The first day of the tournament's tomorrow. And it's mainly streamers from outside of the FGC. They'll get 1 to 2 weeks of Tekken coaching, and then we're throwing them together in a team tournament. The details are on Sajam's channel, and I'll link it below. But Koni is a very fascinating story. He was supposed to be the bottom seed of his team as a brand new newcomer. But in the short span of these 4 days, he's in a position to hard carry his team. He's in a solid position to dominate his area of the bracket. So for most of you, this may not be that interesting because, I'm not in this tournament. Why do I care? Let's talk about why you're here and why you probably care. To climb the ranks efficiently. I have a selection of Koni's matches. One is at yellow rank here, and then the rest are at red ranks. And the goal is to show you that the gameplay difference is not that big at these ranks. I know that the game makes a big deal of separating them. There's a lot of community hype around hitting different ranks, and you should be proud of your accomplishments no matter what. But I want to show you that if you're feeling stuck at one rank, it's not because there's this gigantic gap you need to close. You just need to keep making small incremental improvements. If you don't care about what I'm about to say, I'm going to do a deep analysis. Jump to the timestamps below where you'll be able to see the matches right away. But I want to highlight some of what Koni does very effectively that you can immediately take into ranked, okay? Let's take a look here. First things first, hacks to purple ranks. Number one tip is pick King. No, King is really, really strong in this game, and we're going to talk a bit more about why. But the way he navigates the game is so effective at getting comfortable with Tekken systems and playing in a way that gets to be less considerate of what your opponent is trying to do, which in a game this aggressive is actually pretty important. So what does he actually do with King? He power crushes a ton. Power crush is the armor move. Every character has like armor moves. King's happen to be really good. And this allows him to disregard people's offense and get his own offense started. Pretty simple in concept, but we'll show how it comes into play in the games. He uses jab to control a lot. Jab is the fastest move at 10 frames, and he uses it so that the opponent can't hit him first, which again seems pretty simple, but when you combine it with the armor moves and the other tools he's using, it gets really difficult to try to hit him and get your own offense started. So those are a few things he does with attacks, but this is probably the biggest one, and I wish I could tell everybody this in every comment section, on every tweet, is he blocks on wake up. I don't know if it's because people are new to Tekken, but one important lesson that people need to learn right away is when you're standing up off the ground, you should block. People will mash armor, they'll mash attacks, they'll mash supers, rage art, they'll mash so many different things, and they'll just get hit again, because in Tekken, getting up off the ground is a severely disadvantageous state. So Koni will show you, he will just block on wake up, wait a sec, and then resume his turn after. Something special about Koni's approach to the game is he applies a lot of okizeme. If you don't know what okizeme is, it's when your opponent is getting up off the ground and what mind games you play around that. So he has a lot of wake up traps, and he uses throws when they stand up. What this does is once he gets an initial advantage, he keeps stacking that advantage. So he never really has to fight the opponent once he knocks them down because he understands the wake up situations better than they do. None of this is unbeatable, but because he has that knowledge advantage through his practice and through, some of the coaching and some of his own work, it's very, very difficult to counter if you've never seen it before. And finally, the biggest trait, which clearly comes from his previous fighting game experience, or, if you want to call Smash a fighting game, that's up to you. I consider it pretty competitive. And he's very observant of ducking versus standing, which is the primary mix-up on defense in Tekken. You're either ducking and eating mids, or you're standing and eating lows and throws, right? He is very cognizant of this and takes advantage of it with extreme precision. We're going to have some general tips that I will cover at the end, but for now, I want to really highlight these, really lock in on these, and the general tips will make more sense after you see his gameplay. It's going to be hard to generalize it without seeing what actually happens. So let's get right into the gameplay. First match, Warrior rank. This might be the end of the game.
I'm playing that guy again.
Here, no, never mind. So he promoted to Warrior, and now he's going to fight. Let's check this out.
That's a lot of points.
So he's fighting a Lee. He's playing as King. Immediately we see the jabs right away. Forward 2-1, and you'll notice that if you're a Tekken veteran, that he's doing moves and strings that are unsafe. What you have to understand is that these ranks, people aren't really punishing things. So that's not really a big deal. It will become a big deal later. But I just wanted to highlight that part first. You're going to see a lot of things that will be easy to nitpick and criticize. We want to focus on what's working and why does it work at these ranks. So jab, jab, forward 2-1, heat engage. What does he play? He immediately plays a throw. As soon as he gets that advantage, he plays a throw. Lee down jabs. And now he plays the armor. Lee happens to evade it too. So Lee is getting some HP off of outplaying those moves. But right here, first wake up situation, he blocks. Unfortunately, Twitch, I can't rewind like less than like 10 seconds. So we'll see a few moments over and over, but this is useful. Look at his wake up here. He's tech rolling off the ground, and Lee does his running attack. A lot of players will mash their heat here. They'll mash an armor move, but Coney just blocks. And you'll see that Lee actually keeps his turn because Lee attacks and King gets counter hit. So Coney doesn't have all the knowledge of all the defensive situations. He just knew to wake up on block. Or wake up and block. Now he's pushing the advantage again, and Lee is constantly showing this down jab. Look at this situation again. Every time King is running at him, every time Coney decides to run at him, Lee is ducking. And he does this down jab. Coney is paying attention to this. Unfortunately, it's not enough, and he loses the first round. One thing also is people get really upset when they lose like one round. Tekken is a 3-round game for a reason. So it's very important to be okay with losing a few rounds, getting more information, and being able to make adjustments. That's very much a part of the game. 3-0ing somebody is pretty rare. Look at the situation again. Lee is ducking a lot. Grabs him out of the power crush. If you grab somebody when they're armoring, it's guaranteed. More quick jabs just to shut down Lee, and then he does the low. Look at all these jabs. And do you see what he just did there? Look at what King just did here. It didn't pay off. But after jabbing and trying to force him to make a decision, he goes for a crouch throw, which was a read on the past two situations. So he is comfortable enough with his character to immediately start making these reads. Now the armor is hitting when Lee is mashing. Lee wants to get out of the jab pressure, so the armor is countering the mash. Armor again. Wake up situation. Just goes for the shoulder charge, and after the shoulder charge, he catches Lee's armor move. So he's not only looking at this wake up situation. If Lee does anything except stand up like this, he will get hit, right? Actually, I think Coney was just a bit late here. This setup should have hit. But Coney's ready for the situation right after. He goes for a throw immediately after that move is blocked. There's not a lot of downtime where he feels like frozen or what do I do next? He knows what decision he's going to make next. And this decisiveness and quickness is pretty important in a game that's this fast. Lee is ducking again. And Coney's insisting on the armor move, right? He's not dying for doing the armor move. He's not dying for getting ducked. He's taking some damage, but it's still working. One thing I've seen a lot in low ranks is people trying to make adjustments and adaptations to situations that don't require it. So in both of these situations, he's getting ducked, sure, but he's not taking enough damage to mandate that he changes his response. Paying attention to the life bars is so important because look, even though he's losing these situations, at the end of the day, it's pretty much even, if not him being ahead. He goes for the crouch throw again, reading Lee's duck. Again, very cognizant. And then here he eats a big punish. He's blocking on wake up. Notice that again. He spams the armor, which is fine. Goes for a throw and gets ducked again. Heat Smash from King is a very, very strong tool, and it's worth using. You should use it. I think this throw is... Oh, he went for a jab instead of a throw. If he went for a throw, he would have died. Jab was a great choice. Here, he's pressing a few too many buttons on defense, but again, this is just his yellow rank. I think this is, what, day 2? So here you can see Lee is playing 1-2, 1, down forward 1, 2-2, 3. He doesn't know when Lee's strings end, right? So something he could do is block a little more and wait for the turn to end. Lee isn't going for these big lows. He's not going for these... Well, he's going for some throws, but not a lot of throws. All of these moves are hitting because they're counter hitting. So if he blocks a bit more, he saves a lot of his HP here. None of this happens. He would have like a full life bar, maybe a few pokes down. In Tekken, you're going to be blocking a lot, and that's fine. Copies out of Lee's playbook. Look at this. He crouches down and starts doing his own down jabs. Right? Trying to steal back some pressure, get underneath Lee's high pokes, and then goes for a throw that gets broken. Swings there, gets a counter hit. Throws are not hitting because Lee is still ducking. But this one connects. Now it's the Okazemi game. This is what I'm talking about. Lee is waking up. How is Coney going to play? He tries to crouch throw him. Unfortunately, did not pay off. So he's getting slightly outplayed on some of these situations. but it's far from over. Goes immediately for the mid. Goes for a crouch throw again.
Like, I'm getting it, but I guess I'm not getting the right timing.
And he's just insisting on the armor, right? It's very, very effective. Heat smash. That damage is ridiculous. That is so big. Okay, throw is crouched again. So here we can see this is early on, right? He hasn't locked in that, like, I see them ducking, I'm going to go mid every time. He's tried to adjust with the crouch throw, but it's just not paying off as much as he would like. He's just not precise enough. And Lee keeps ducking under the armor move, which is showing clear problems, or giving him very clear problems. And then he goes low and catches him underneath. So you'll see that it's not a lot of solid defense. It's not a lot of like Tekken knowledge. It's just the very, very basics. Jab so they can't play the game. When you hit them hard, right? Like keep applying pressure and then try to pay attention to if they're ducking or not. And as long as you're not like outright dying on their offense, remember the blocking on wake up part, you have a lot of HP to play more interactions. So that's early on. Let's move forward a bit to when he hit red ranks. This is a match when he's in Garyu.
Maybe.
Fighting a Fang who is notoriously difficult to defend against. So once again, I'm a big fan of learning defense. I think it's really important. But if you're strictly trying to rank up, look at how effective just a good offense is. So right off the bat, he goes for a throw immediately.
This guy again.
Actually, no, he ducks for a bit. Lets him zone out, then approaches with the throw. Goes for a low that gets counter hit. And then there's a little like whiff punish throw here. And here's the wake up situation. Oh, the throw's traded. Armor move very effective here. Going low again. Jab, jab. Ducking under Fang's throw. This could have been an answer to multiple things. If Fang tried to jab back, Coney would have gone underneath it. If Fang tried to go low, Coney would have blocked it. And clearly it went under the throw as well. So I'm not sure why he went for that decision. But it's clear that he's interacting with the system and trying to find moments of opportunity and change the way Fang is playing, right? Like, if Fang's throws stop working, if his jabs stop working, he has to lean into his slower moves, the mids and the lows. And that gives King more windows of opportunity to land moves like, say, for example, this giant heat smash, which he didn't really need to kill, but the range is ridiculous. So, hard to argue with it. I don't normally recommend ducking for no reason, just because the mids are the high reward options. But clearly Fang is doing nothing about it. And that's something you'll also notice, is that at these ranks, your opponent is not going to play solid offense. They're not going to play solid defense, right? So some of the best things you can cultivate as a player is just making your offense as clean as possible, right? Make it as threatening, as damaging, and as airtight as possible. So I've talked in other videos about frame trapping. In the case of Coney, it's going to be a lot of mid-lows. And instead of lows, he's also going to use throws.
Shall we?
So chain throw is going to do damage here. We can just let this rock. Wow, he really learned these chain throws.
Like an animation diff?
One thing to take away from this too is abuse what your character has. I've talked to a lot of low rank players who are afraid to use their character's tools because they think it's dishonest. You don't get bonus rank points for playing honestly. Use the stuff your character has. So ducking there is fine on wake up here. Coney ducks on Fang's wake up. Not a big deal here because Fang can't really launch him in this situation. So ducking here, it's not great, but it's not bad either. Goes for the armor again. Fang is now in heat. Ooh. He gets caught in the second hit. What the heck? I don't know if that was a misinput or if Fang is just tilted. But as you can see, these ranks are not everybody playing as sweaty as possible. You're seeing a lot of mistakes, misinputs. Like, how did Fang get hit by that? How did Fang get hit by the mid heat smash here? This is not following what I said about blocking on wake up. So the throw hits, he gets caught in this wake up situation, and then Coney just goes mid. I can't even see what Fang did. Maybe he just didn't block? It didn't look like he did an attack. And look at how much damage he takes. So we're going to generalize this, of course, at the end of the video to more specific tips. But just notice how if nobody's playing clean, all you have to do is attack better than other people and not die. All right. Total wash. Yes, there was a chain throw in there. Giant swing is nasty. But look at, it's not just the giant swing that hit. Coney plays forward, forward, neutral 2. That move gives him +7. So his next action is basically uninterruptible. Okay? If he throws fast enough here, Fang can't even rage art. Right? So this throw is basically guaranteed and Fang has to escape it. Simply playing the frame advantage. He was so plus that he got to do his move. I'm nailing that point home a lot. Let's move on. This is the final day, the 4th day, where he finally hits the purple ranks. So he played a bunch off stream, so there's not all this footage that I would have loved to look at in depth. This was the yellow rank day, this was early red rank day, and then this is the late red rank day. So the match I have here is against a Lars. Let me back it up a bit because I want to catch the beginning. Lars is notoriously difficult, right? Very overwhelming character, relentless offense. Let's see how Kony's offensive style gameplay stacks up against it. Okay, he found a new string in back 1-2 and goes for a throw. Again, look at this. He's playing the frame advantage. So another cool thing is he backdashes at the beginning. This is the Jaguar step. It's more evasive than a backdash, but it functionally serves the same thing. Create space and play neutral. He goes for an armor move. There's no punish. This hits. King is plus. He gets to keep his turn. So he goes for an immediate throw. Lars breaks it. Armor move again. Lars gets a little punish. Now Lars is pushing his offense. And you'll notice Kony lost a lot of HP here. This is sometimes unavoidable, right? Especially against a character like Lars who is doing mix up. But you'll see there he went for a grab and then he got hit. He goes for a counterattack and then he gets hit. Then he goes for a parry and he gets hit, right? So multiple actions that were not blocking. And he's paying the price. He's trying to mash on defense again. Plays the frame advantage. Lars ducks underneath and he swings in the middle of Lars's string. So there's a few factors at play. There's character knowledge, right? Knowing the strings. But you can immediately see the downside of not blocking. It sounds patronizing to say, but blocking goes a long way in Tekken. And look at how he's getting rolled. Look at how he's getting rolled. In his defense and every new player's defense, Lars is really annoying to defend against because of the constant stance transitions, the advantage on his lows. It's hard to tell when his turn is over. So I'm not faulting Kony for dying here. It's more like, notice that these rules are kind of general. You have to block to survive to get your turn back so you can start to apply your offense. Kony is not getting started here at all. This is the best he got. An armor move. He's in heat though. He healed a little bit. Heat smash for more frame advantage. Lars missed the duck. Look at this. Look at this again. That was in the blink of an eye. Running your offense in this game is so effective. That's not like a King specific thing. King is really good at it, but every character can kind of start running their offense. So his armor move blew through Lars's 2 hits. He gets a key throw into the heat engage, and any character in heat is pretty scary. So at this point, because Lars missed the duck, he died.
All right, I got it. Okay.
Still in it. Down 1-2. Need to see a bit more blocking. So if he got a punish here on that armor move, he would have been able to start his offense more. But again, there's some knowledge at play, right? He's still pretty new. And this is just, again, to show that I think it's not worth putting too much stock into the rank and your assessment of skill. Because even though he's red rank here, he's fighting a purple rank Lars, both of them are missing punishes. They're missing very, very basic fundamentals of the game, such as, you know, punishing when you get free damage, taking your frame advantage. Honestly, those two are very, very core. This was a great punish on the low, but he could have used a different punish instead of his heat smash. Right? He blocks this low sweep from Lars. He could have done a hop knee. He could have done King's, he's like a mid punch, full crouch down forward 2, get a full combo and save his heat. But the heat smash also serves the same purpose of doing the same damage. So there's a lot of tiny fundamental details here that are a big deal. Lars didn't wake up and block. He woke up and did an armor move, so the throw hit him. He blocked the first hit of the string, but tried to respond after. That's more of a knowledge check. Once you get hit by that from King, you have to like kind of study that, but here we go. Armor paying off. Lars getting a bit anxious, pressing at the beginning of the match. Lars going for a throw of his own. Get up kick. Heat smash is blocked. Nice duck and launch. Not the best combo. See, small fundamental issues. Like, these are the kinds of things I want people to focus on instead of rank, right? These are the kinds of things I really want people to lock in on. Like, I don't care if you're purple. I don't care if you're orange. If you duck and launch something because you wanted to, try and make sure you nail your combo, right? This is something you can do. And people drop combos all the time. People at the top level drop combos, okay? I drop combos. But these are the kinds of things to put your brain power on. These are the kinds of things you want to focus on. How did this get so ugly? That combo drop was catastrophic, right? I'm trying to rewind just to see how the health bars went, right? So, like, Kony should be dead. Not, like, really dead, right? But, like, on at least 2 to 3 mix-ups. But instead, he has half a life bar left. And he lands this huge hop knee. How did that hop knee hit? How did this hop knee hit? This is really important because this could be a mistake from Lars. This could be a good read from Kony. We have to see. So there's low hits. Kony ducks under this high follow-up, and Lars is dancing around in stance. So Lars whiffed a stance move, and he's just running his own thing. He didn't see whether it hit or not. He was making the next move based on an assumption. Kony gets a nice, basically a whiff punish, attacking the stance because Lars can't block in stance, and it's just a disaster. Low throw. Nice. He's still breaking the throws, but he mashes into the armor, right? So had Lars gained an understanding of how King works or seen how Coney played before, he would know that on this throw break, your jabs will still get eaten by armor. So you have to either do a single jab and just block, or duck underneath the armor on a read. Ducking's a bit scary. I would have gone for the single jab. But hindsight's 20/20. Realistically, I would have died here. Like, let's be real. All right, so Coney swings it back around. Let's see what happens in game 2. And then we will move to the final matches. Throw counter hits Lars, so it's harder to break a counter hit throw. My brain completely died there. When your throw counter hits the opponent, the break window shrinks. So that's why Lars missed the throw break there. He's been historically pretty good at it.
He's always doing that low. I just need the low pair.
Okay. Lars's attack patterns don't make sense here to me. These look like misinputs to me. These aren't moves you would normally see a Lars player do. Down forward 3. I don't know what that's for. Standing 2 by itself. Maybe he tried to hit 2-1 and hit it too soon. These are just small, like, micro errors that, again, are something you want to clean up in your play, right? Rank aside, these are mistakes you just want to be working on. These are the kinds of things you want to pay attention to. Clearly, it didn't matter that much because Coney ends up in the corner. What happens? Lars plays his stance. Lars plays his stance again. 2 lows hit, not the end of the world. Coney's ducking, and then he gets mixed up. And this is just tough. Lars hits a low, he gets plus frame, so he can do it again. He could do it again. That's the power of the character. He's like a mix-up character. Lars throws and catches Coney's armor move. But Coney's insisting, right? He hasn't changed what he's doing yet. Oh, missed punish there, going for the hop knee. And then he's mashing outside of his turn, and now he's dying for it. So if you're familiar with Tekken, you'll be seeing a lot of these missed punishes. But if you're a newer player, it might not be familiar. What was cool here, that was just a straight up good whiff punish, right? I would have maybe liked to see him go for a whiff punch that started a combo, but the range was a bit awkward. At best, he gets a forward 2-1 into a heat engage. Rage Art is kind of nice to cash out on your damage here. But it looks like I was trying to skip the animation here. Looks like he doesn't win anyways. I'm curious how he plays this after. This is a weird situation to play because one hit and you die, even if you use armor, and he ran up and did a hop knee. Not a terrible choice, because Lars might have been afraid of the throw and ducked. So that was kind of like a all or nothing, and really not the end of the world in that situation. Okay, back 1-2. Why did that back 1-2 hit? This is really important. So Coney mashes here and gets hit. Coney blocks the low, gets a little punish. That's not ideal. And now he has plus frames. It's his turn. So when he throws the back 1-2, Lars' mashing gets beaten. This is a fundamental issue from the Lars player. He should have recognized that it's not my turn. I need to chill. At high level, you will break these rules. But at this level of the game, I don't think it's worth playing those kinds of mind games. If you play frame solid, you will get very far. I stand by the belief that at least in these first couple months of the game, if you play frame solid, just play on your plus frames, don't mash when you're minus, you can get all the way to like blue ranks just by playing basic fundamentals. You don't need crazy mind games. You don't need crazy tactics. That's what I got to say on that. So as you can see, the match was back and forth, mistakes on both sides, but let's look at how he finally got to the purple rank, right? That was lower red ranks. Maybe the upper red ranks are very, very, very different. Maybe the skill level is very different. Okay, still armor move right away. Throw is whiffed. And you'll see June is playing a lot more passive than the Lars was. This is actually quite nice for King if he's able to attack without dying. Now he's running his wake-up game again. These lows are launch punishable, and June gets a nice launch punish there. That was really good. So, for what it's worth, punishment fundamentals slightly higher from this opponent. And that's another thing. You see red rank, it's hard to generalize these skills. Some people have punishment, some people don't. Some people have mix-ups, some people don't. So I don't really think about that when I'm playing this game or reviewing people's matches. Am I good enough for red rank? I don't really think of it that way. I think of it like, what am I seeing on the screen? What's working and what isn't? And I don't know how June got hit there. What is happening here? Throw hits. Shoulder charge. King hits. So King is plus here. It's still King's turn. June tapped forward and died. Not sure what was happening there. And I'm going to address that in the general tips too. I think there are some other things you can focus on. Like, you should try to reduce the amount of not sure what happened there situations, right? You want to be able to control your character and have them do what you want them to do. He is rolling her with these armor moves. Okay, June does a get up kick. Low. Nice. Coney blocks the second hit. The armor is getting blown up. This is June is spamming lows to shut down Coney's armor. This is some nice counterplay. But June didn't realize how insistent Coney would be. And this is another common error I see in lower ranks. It's like, oh, I beat him for this option multiple times. Surely he'll stop by now, right? Low, 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 low. As soon as she goes mid, what happens?
He's doing the same thing.
He does the armor anyways. And she almost dies for it. So don't stop what you're doing just because you think your opponent will stop countering it. You stop it because your opponent will counter it, or they've shown that they'll counter it, right?
The same string, mid-low.
And that's something that Coney does very well in his gameplay. He insists on the armor move. You have to really kill him for doing the armor move. You have to really kill him for doing throws to make him stop. Okay, look at that. Look at this interaction. Armor move at the start. This is the king factor. This is undeniably the king factor, okay? I was trying not to like trash talk king this whole video. Look at this. Armor move hits, unbreakable throw. If you wake up wrong, heat smash.
I know you're getting up with the button. Keep doing it.
June's in rage. That was like... There are safer ways to play this, okay? Like, admittedly, there are safer ways to play this. But is that really fun for a new player to deal with? I'm moving on. I don't want to start a huge debate on king again. Nice, he blocked the string. That was really, really cool. So I had to mute the VOD because Coney has some music playing. But you'll notice in a lot of his matches, he'll say like, okay, I see him ducking. And in the same way, he's noticing that June is using this low in this string. He's not so focused on his own game plan that he's not paying attention to what his opponent is doing. And given that is kind of a legacy skill from playing PvP games or like fighting games or like Smash in the past, but it's something to consider. If you're new to this game, you might still have to develop that awareness. It's hard. Shoulder charge hits. Grabbed out of the air.
Low?
You hear what he said there? He said low. On the wake up, even though he's in an advantage situation, he is still trying to read the opponent. He gets the knockdown here. He's reading. Are they going to hit me low? Are they going to duck? Are they going to stand? Constantly keeping your awareness up. It's not just what is my next move, what might my opponent do? And here he's reading it. I don't know why he's giving so much respect. He should just hit her. He probably wanted to wait for her to get up and get a better mix-up.
All right, people's elbow. Okay, I should play again.
But yes.
Theoretically, if he
And now, so that was pretty decent. He kind of rolled the June. Let's look at the final promotion match. We've been looking at a lot of matches. I believe it's at 30 minutes here.
this.
Yes, out of this loading screen. This is the match. This is the match where it happens. He is fighting
It's for the
another
championship.
king. A mirror match. How fitting is that? Let's look at how it goes down. King using low moves to go under the armor move. Now they're just trading armor moves back and forth. Both players missing a lot of punishment. The 1-2 jab absorbed the armor. Look, like the armor absorbed the 1-2 jab, but the other king could still block. Look at this. Right here. 1-2, and king can still block. That's huge.
This is a slow
Coney gets grabbed out of the armor. I have to use the names because there's two kings on the screen. String. 3-hit string, not aware, gets hit by the third hit. Unblockable. It's looking ugly. It's looking very ugly. But let's see. Clearly there's an adjustment. The armor move hits. Coney is very stubborn. And there's some merit to that. If your offense is really good, being stubborn about it is actually pretty sick. Okay, he could have gotten a punish there, but again, still learning the game. Armor move paying off once again. Shoulder charge. Like, people might watch this and be like, this looks boring, this looks dumb. I got something to tell you. When you're playing fighting games at an early level and you're trying to learn what is effective, it's not always very fun.
Dude, what?
Unfortunately. A lot of the fun for me in fighting games, at least, comes from like the high level mind games and interactions. And the simple fact is that when people don't really understand their defensive options, the same stuff will work over and over and over again. You'll notice that Coney's not getting the heat smash because it's hitting on the ground, so he's not getting the huge reward. Oh my goodness, this is ugly. These alley kicks, these low kicks from King. A very common like noob slayer, right? And even though he's fighting another King player, the King player doesn't know how to defend against it. This is a side topic, but people ask me, should you learn other characters, how to play them, to learn how to beat them? That's a key example of why not. Defending against a character is different than attacking with the character. Okay. Other King's responding with his own alley kicks, his own Shining Wizard. Oh, the other King messed up a throw, but this last hit. Hop knee does not work, and the other King punishes the hop knee. I don't know if that was on purpose, because he only did one hit. But Coney's desperation play was not rewarded. Uh-oh. Armor move into the throw. Shoulder charge is... He stays down versus the shoulder charge to survive. So the other King is marginally aware of some situations. He's aware that he should stay down. He shouldn't just get up blindly every single time. Oh my god. But it doesn't take many interactions. Oh, he got up against the heat smash. He got anxious. He got anxious. One hit. Alley kick. He's blocking. Ow. No punish. And then he promoted. So, not the prettiest gameplay we've ever seen, but extremely effective. This is not to dog on Coney. This is not to dog on King. This is to show people that it does not take a lot. It might take a lot of learning. You might have to optimize yourself and refactor how you think about the game, but it's not super complex to get to the purple ranks, even on a character like King. So let me generalize these tips. How can you apply this to a character if you're not a King player, okay? The base Tekken mix-up is mids, lows, and counter hits, but mid, lows are the main thing, right? So throws are kind of like lows. To beat them, you have to duck or break them. And in the case of King, because the breaks are ambiguous, you usually have to duck them at an early level anyways. So the way Coney used throws, you can be using lows. Yes, lows are generally slower, but say your opponent is waking up off the ground. You hit them with mids, they are ducking. You hit them with mids if they're ducking. You hit them with lows if they're standing. It's very, very 50-50, and that's at a core level what Tekken is about. The other thing that I would really generalize is don't get fancy, get cleaner. Okay, you don't need to learn these fancy combos. You don't need to learn these optimized like setups. If you're a Brian player, you don't need to taunt jet upper. If you're a Kazuya player, you don't need to do electrics and wave dashes. Just get cleaner. Don't get hit for free. Move when you want to move, duck when you want to duck, and only get hit when you are incorrect on a read, right? You don't want to get hit because, oh, I was trying to move. You want to get hit because, oh, I ducked because I thought he was going to go low and I was wrong. That's way different. And then the other two basics are attack when you have frame advantage and defend when you have frame disadvantage. People don't know the frames in this game, so if you have to play by like the rules of the road. If they don't know that you have advantage and you just play that advantage, you auto win. If they don't know that they have frame advantage and you just block anyways, then you're fine regardless, right? So you playing solid by the frames, attack during frame advantage, just to make it clear, and defend during frame disadvantage will get you so far. Will get you absolutely so far. And then the last thing is, I would say it's really important to learn to break throws. A lot of people don't want to do a lot of the concrete drilling required, but Tekken is a demanding game. And reducing the amount of free damage you take is so important because you get more interactions, you get more chances to make reads, and more chances to play the game. And I didn't write this down initially, but also learn to punish. I'm gonna put that in learn to break throws. The philosophy here is that breaking throws is reducing the damage you take for free, and punishing is making sure you get all the free damage your opponent gives you. So this was a pretty long video, but I hope it was helpful. I think that different players bring different things to Tekken when they come. And the cool thing about Coney's gameplay, it was just so effective. He didn't come in with these ideas of what is honest, what is clean Tekken, what is this. He's going to play what works and win with it until it doesn't. And he's still improving. He's going to be a menace at this Sajam tournament that's going to be run tomorrow. And this is a very, very, very exciting time for Tekken. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you did. Leave a comment if you think I missed something or if you have any questions. And subscribe if you want to see more. Oh my god, I kicked my table. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.